Hey everybody, welcome to the Stream Team. I'm Patrick Stinson. This is where we check out what's streaming so that you can just focus on all the good stuff. Today, we're talking Jamie Foxx and the power of popping a few pills, Mulan coming your way with a little extra moolah, and the world's worst superheroes are back with The Boys. Lots of good stuff to get to today. And joining the Stream Team, we have Audrey Cleo Yap. She's an anchor and reporter at Variety. And Rachel Smith, the entertainment guru, the entertainment legend, the host, the Emmy-winning host of the #1 entertainment show in Las Vegas. More on Fox 5. Thank you both for joining us. Welcome to the Stream Team. Rachel, we're gonna jump right into it with you with what is streaming hot today. And Jamie Foxx is streaming extremely hot right now with Netflix. He's in the top 10 on Netflix.
Top 10 right now, #1, hotter than a Vegas summer, Patrick. I mean, this is the movie, the summer popcorn blockbuster, the escapism we really need. I mean, Project Power, Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Rodrigo Santoro, and this newcomer, Dominique Fishback. It is hot.
So that's your power.
It's like fun visuals, fun cast. And you know, this isn't gonna win an Oscar. It's just gonna give you something really fun to watch, you know, with your family, not the little kids, but I thought it was highly entertaining.
Rachel, I saw it and I thought that for the first time since this pandemic happened, I was sad that I didn't get to see it in a theater. I felt like I wanted to be in a theater. The special effects were great. And there's one entire scene, without giving anything away, where Jamie Foxx is fighting a man who is fully on fire. He's just completely ablaze. It was fantastic.
In fact, that man is played by Machine Gun Kelly. I don't think that gives anything away because he's now become a bit of an actor, not just in music, but also wasn't the music great in the film too? The raps by Dominique Fishback, who, by the way, when I talked to Jamie Foxx and the whole cast, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, they both say not only is she the heart of the film and the musicality, but Jamie Foxx said, no doubt she will one day be on stage saying, thank you to the Academy, as she will definitely win an Oscar. He thinks she's that good.
She held her own. She was great. She really was.
Right?
Also, listen, making some hot streaming news right now as well is Mulan. And Audrey, listen, you know me as a bubbly, light, glass half full kind of person. So I'm looking at Mulan, and there's Mulan news from a glass half full kind of perspective. I think we finally get to see it.
We do. Do I know you as that person, Patrick, or do I know you as the guy who didn't even get a glass? Half empty, half full, didn't have a glass. I don't know. But you are right. We finally will be able to see Mulan, and probably for the most of us, not on the big screen like we had hoped. It will be hitting streaming service Disney Plus on September 4th. Now, 2 things to note here. You have to not only have Disney Plus, which is $6.99 a month, but you will be paying $29.99 on top of that, so $30 to rent Mulan. But as you can see from this clip, might be well worth the money.
I'm Hua Mulan. I will bring honor to us all.
So a funny little story, that red carpet, the red carpet for Mulan was the last major red carpet that I got to cover back in March. And because of COVID-19 scares, I actually opted to not stay for the screening. One of the few times that I've really regretted saying, no to a screening. Sometimes those things are just a little bit too much and you're like, I'll catch it sometime else, or I'll catch it in the theater sometime else. But I really missed out on that. And so, shed a little tear, but yeah, for all of the people who missed out on it, like myself, we'll be able to see it on September 4th. Now, $30 to rent, that seems like kind of a steep price, but a lot of people are making the argument that, hey, if this were in theaters, that's a fraction of what it would cost for, say, a family of 4 to go to the movies.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to spend much more than, and also if you get snacks and it's Mulan, you're going to need snacks.
Absolutely, you're gonna need a lot of them. But here's my thing, though, is that this movie was really made for a cinematic experience, and places where theaters can open up safely, they will be getting that movie in theaters, or if they don't have Disney Plus, if Disney Plus hasn't hit their market yet. But I do hope that later on that they do get some kind of domestic cinematic release. It is a sweeping epic. It was made to be seen on a big screen.
Listen, also making streaming news is the lost or the banned episode of Blackish, which airs on ABC. Blackish is the sitcom with Tracy Ellis Ross and Anthony Anderson, airing on ABC. It's now also airing on Hulu. And the creator, Kenya Barris, just recently announced on his social media that back in 2017, they had an episode. He wrote and they shot an episode that was very politically charged. It was 1 year after Donald Trump took the presidency, and this episode addressed that. Well, Kenya they had a kind of a butting of heads between the suits, if you will, at ABC and Disney and Kenya. ABC didn't want to air the episode as is. Kenya didn't want to change anything, so they came to an agreement to just not air it at all. Well, guess what? It is now airing on Hulu. It's definitely worth it to check it out. It is not a love letter to Donald Trump, let's say. It is politically charged, and they address so many different social issues. So it's definitely worth checking out. If you go to Hulu, it's on the season 4 rundown. It is episode number 99, and it's called Please, Baby, Please. It's definitely worth checking out. It's pretty intense, kind of poignant, and what's really, really shocking was it was written 3 years ago. I feel like it could have been written yesterday. It's still, they're still very much on point, doing things the way that Blackish does things. So guys, check that out. It's kind of intense, which takes us to our next screening suggestion. Speaking of intense, Audrey, you and I have talked about this before. I May Destroy You is super intense, and it's one of our favorite, as it should be. This
Also, what I text to you maybe every other week. Isn't that right, Pat?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This show, in the context of this show, I May Destroy You, probably one of the best all-around scripted television series. I want to say in the past decade, but we're starting a new decade. So of the decade, this is headed up by Michaela Cole. She is the showrunner, star, writer, creator, you name it, kind of taking on every role. And I don't want to give away too much about what this show is, other than it does involve some pretty serious subject matter. It centers a bit on sexual assault, and it's based on Michaela's own experience. But it is part comedy, part drama, and intense is absolutely the right word for it. I'm not sure if it's the show that you should binge, but I know it's the show that you will binge, for better or worse. Just have your therapist on speed dial, just in case.
What makes you think we have therapists?
Right?
What's that, Rachel?
And who doesn't have their therapist on speed dial these days anyway, right?
Yeah, listen, it's so intense that after I watch a few episodes, I then go find an episode of Bob's Burgers or Family Guy to even it all out.
Chaser. You need a chaser.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Audrey, I'll bet you anything, Patrick, you're actually watching The Real Housewives on Bravo. Don't try to be like Bob's Burgers. Okay, sorry. That's the guilty pleasure.
If we want to lighten the mood a little bit from I May Destroy You, Rachel, you can introduce us to a new guy by the name of Ted Lasso. Now, who is this dude?
This is a character that Jason Sudeikis, of course, former SNL alum for more than a decade, he created for these like NBC Sports like kind of commercials. Well, they turned it into a full-blown series for Apple TV, and these are the laughs we need. Take a look.
I always figured that tea was just going to taste like hot brown water. And you know what? I was right. Yeah, it's horrible. No, thank you.
Welcome to England.
This is like like so rife with comedy, kind of like Major League did with baseball back in the day, you know, that famous cult movie that everyone loves. They kind of did the same thing with, you know, soccer or football, as they call it in the UK. He's an American coach who gets hired to go over to London and coach a football team, not knowing anything about soccer. And this is so crowd-pleasing. It's so entertaining, a great ensemble cast, and it's just Jason Sudeikis at his best.
Jason Sudeikis and his mustache at its best, too.
Right?
Yeah, I took a look at it, too, and you know what? I was surprised that it's not just comedy, though. You get some warm fuzzies in there as well.
That's right. It's got a really heartwarming, because we kind of pick fun a little bit at American and UK sensibilities. And, you know, I was talking to the cast, I said, I think everything in London is so cute, the cabs, the phone booths, but what do we in America, do you guys think we do better? And they're like, food. You can't get a foot-long, you know, hot dog in London, but you can in America. So it's really kind of a love letter to both cultures and how both of us love sports, whether you call it soccer or football, win, tie, or lose. And the heart of Ted Lasso, he's so optimistic, he's so positive, you want to root for him. And I think this is one that everybody can watch, whether you're into sports or not, and just have a good time.
It was a good time. Also, we're going to go from sports comedy to real-life grueling sports adventures with Bear Grylls, the world's toughest race.
Ocean.
4 hours of sleep in 4 days.
And it is brutal.
It was so hard.
Survivalist, crazy guy, Bear Grylls has taken 66 teams from around the world and put them on this course to go over 400 miles, and they have to make it to the end. There's a $100,000 prize at the end, but this is really kind of like the emotional journey that all these people go on. It's really kind of He-Man and He-Woman kind of stuff. When you watch this, just think of it as taking a little travel break. You know, we can't travel right now, but you can enjoy Fiji through this show, and you can also watch it and go, oh, I could do that. I could do that. I can do a lot of stuff I found from my couch. I can do so much from my couch.
Does anybody drink their own pee for survival purposes?
Well, there are 10 episodes.
Not the last 2 hours.
First of all, that's very specific, Audrey.
You can do a lot of things from your couch, Patrick.
No, I am not drinking my own pee. There's 10 episodes, so eventually probably someone does probably drink their own pee. It's Bear Grylls. He's crazy, and I'm surprised he hasn't killed anyone yet. I can't do any of that stuff, Audrey, but you know what I can do? I can lounge around the poolside in Palm Springs, which seamlessly takes us to our next selection. Audrey, Palm Springs is the movie that if Audrey hears you haven't seen it, she'll go, Patrick, why not? Patrick, I've been talking about this movie for a month now. Patrick.
Well, it combines a few of my favorite things, Palm Springs, Andy Samberg, and metaphysics, you know, time travel stuff, your favorite subject. You love seeing it in a movie, don't lie. Patrick hates time travel.
I can never follow time travel.
So it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, starring Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. They play a couple of wedding guests who are trapped in a time loop. I'm not going to tell you anything more, but what's interesting about this movie is it's a romantic comedy. Yes, there's a little bit of sci-fi, and it sold for the highest price ever at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year, over $17 million.
And so many people are talking about Audrey. You're not the only one who's been twisting my arm to get me to watch it.
I loved it too.
It's kind of an unexpected delight. I mean, I still don't know if it was worth the tens and millions of dollars that they paid for it and ended up on Hulu. But hey, you know, we didn't know that the pandemic was coming, so maybe it really, really worked out for them. When I was watching it, I was very much like, if I were to ever write a movie, this is the movie that I would want to write.
And Audrey, didn't you really like too that Kristen was kind of your atypical female romantic comedy lead? She was very realistic, a girl you would know. And also the combination of J.K. Simmons, who I think makes every movie better. He elevates, and he's always so much fun to watch.
And he plays such a fun character in this one. And like you said, Kristen Milioti playing, you know, not necessarily the likable female lead that you would see in a typical romantic comedy, but yes, she's realistic. She's messy. She's messy.
Which is real life.
Yeah.
All right, so we are all very excited about Palm Springs. I am equally excited about The Boys coming back to Amazon Prime on September 4th. The Boys is what I like to think of as if superheroes had really one superpower, and that was being ratchet. It is superheroes like you have never seen them before.
All right, what do we do? We can't just kill everyone.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
The Boys is the story of these superheroes who, they're just really not the nicest people. They're superheroes, they're coddled like celebrities, but they have problems. They have drug problems. They have sexual harassment problems. They don't have the greatest morals in the world. They are not the good guys. Now, the Boys are the group of people who are against the Supes, as we call them. They're out to get them. They have beef with the Supes, and they really are out for revenge for one reason or another, without telling you exactly what happens. But season 2 is coming out. I went back in anticipation of season 2. I went back and watched season 1. It was better the second time around. So I really highly recommend going back and binging season 1 before season 2 comes out. Let me tell you, it's not for the kids. There's a lot of fake blood. The fake blood budget was probably within the millions. There are people who explode all over the place. So this is not for the kids, but it's a fun little ride. I like to think of it as if superheroes, if your least favorite cousin became a superhero, this is who they would be. You know, the cousin you don't want at the barbecue, this is who they would be. So I definitely highly recommend it, but not for the kids. However, our next little number is for the kids. Rachel, Work It. Now, Work It is the movie that I said, Rachel, I'm not sure this is my jam. And she said, Patrick, you're not a tween girl, are you? And I checked, and I was not.
And then Patrick said, and Rachel, neither are you.
No.
I don't think you were born in the 90s, were you, my friend? Nope, I was not. But honestly, you guys, who doesn't love a good teen dance movie? I mean, back in the day, from Footloose to Dirty Dancing to Step Up, I mean, to Bring It On, you know, these are spirit fingers, remember? Who doesn't love? Every generation needs their dance movie. And this one, by the way, produced by Alicia Keys, take a look, has it all.
Why do we look like a bunch of dental hygienists?
What? I borrowed them from the nursing home.
We look like we're about to go run a blood drive.
Okay, so you can see from that clip, awesome young cast led by Sabrina Carpenter, Liza Koshy. We've got Jordan Fisher, who is so multi-talented, you know, Dear Evan Hansen, Broadway. But you've got music, you've got dancing, you've got a diverse cast, you've got inclusion represented. I love that. But then also this positive message done in a way that's really timely for 2020. I mean, I know I'm not a tween or a teen or even in my 20s, or maybe not even in my 30s. Maybe I'm not the actual demographic, but it was so much fun. And I think it's one you can watch with your kids and feel really good about.
It is nice to have something that the whole family can watch.
Right?
And maybe pick up some dance moves. I've seen Audrey dance before. So
come on, Audrey. You were born with jazz hands, weren't
Audrey,
you?
this might be for you. This might be for you as well. Oh, get it? Work it?
I very much, just speaking of dance and dance movies, I very much envy this generation because they have social media, they have Instagram, they have TikTok, and they look so fly doing their dances. Is fly even a word? I don't even know. They're on fleek. They're on flack.
They're lit. They're lit.
They're lit.
They're fire. They're fire.
They're fire with these dance moves. And like when I was, you know, growing up in the 90s, I had the Macarena. So I had that. and the hokey pokey. They taught us how to square dance in PE. So I'm very envious of all of the younger generation and all the dance inspiration that they get.
From now
Audrey,
on, I think of work it.
Speaking of social media, these young cast, I mean, they have so many followers. I think Liza Koshy was named Time Magazine's top 20 most influential on social media. So if you have any nieces or nephews or kids, they definitely know this cast very well because they are hot, hot, hot right now.
Well, it's very nice to end it on a movie that the whole family can go see. So there we go. Hey, Rachel, Audrey, thank you both for joining us for the stream team. I really do appreciate it.
Don't you think, Audrey, before we go, we should see Patrick's go-to dance move?
It's the what's that?
Oh, sprinkler!
The sprinkler. That's the way to leave. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. See you next time. Bye.